Hey y'all, it's Shay Cherie. Thank you for tuning in to this tutorial of this branched beaded ear cuff. That's not the formal name of it, but that's what we're going to call it today. Let's go ahead and go over the tools and materials needed, and I will show you how to make it. The tools you will need are flush cutter pliers, chain nose pliers, round nose pliers, curved chain nose pliers, and also a pair of nylon jaw pliers. You will also need a piece of 6-inch wire, either 18 or 16 gauge, and also an indeterminable amount of 26 gauge wire. You'll see why as we go on. For beads, I'm using 5mm white beads, 5mm gold beads, 4mm clear bicones, 8/0 white seed beads, and 4mm white beads. We're going to start with your 6-inch piece of wire and make the base of the ear cuff and coil it on each side. I start this process with my round nose pliers, and once I get to a certain point, I finish up with my curved chain nose pliers. It helps to curl the wire onto itself. When you get to the second coil, make sure you're mirroring the same direction of the first coil. I forgot to mention it in the supply section, but you will also need something round to curl your base on. I have a Bracelet Mandrel here. Use whatever you have handy. Now I'm ordering the beads in the pattern that I'm going to use. You kind of have to have a vision for this part and know what you might want to see on your ear cuff, or it can be completely freestyle and random. Luckily, I've made one previously, so I kind of know what I'm going for, but we'll be stringing these onto the 26 gauge wire, so that's why it's helpful to have the pattern beforehand. And then you can go ahead and string them on when you're ready. Now we can begin wrapping our ear cuff. So I start with holding one end of, well, the open end of the 26 gauge wire against the coil. And I hold that in place to have some leverage while I'm doing the initial wraparounds of the base. That'll stop it from moving around too much while you're trying to wrap. So wrap the wire around a few times, maybe like 7 to 10 times, and then we will start with the first branch. I'm starting with 3 of the 4mm white beads. So what you want to do is get those into position and kind of pre-measure how far you would want them to stick out from your cuff. Once you do that, you're going to hold the 3 beads in place and wrap the wire around the base a couple of times to hold that in place. You're then going to hold the 3 beads in place and twist a couple of times so that they'll stay, and then you can let go and twist the whole wire branch. All right, make sure that's good, and then we will move on to the next one. In between each branch, you're going to be wrapping around the base of the cuff a few times. However many wraps depends on how full or thinned out you want your ear cuff beads to be. The next branch is going to be with a single 5mm white bead. And it's going to be the same concept repeated throughout. You're going to want to measure where you want the bead to sit, how far away you want it to sit from the base of the cuff. Wrap around the base a couple of times to hold that position in place, and then twist the bead. Okay, so here's where the branch aspect really comes into play, and I'm going to be doing it with this section of 8 beads. So with the first bead, you kind of want to hold some space on the wire. You're not going to be twisting it directly down to the base of the cuff. So hold a little bit of space, fold the wire where you want it to sit, and then twist that initial bead. Then you're going to fold the wire up past the initial bead and do the same thing. You want to hold a little bit of space and then take your second bead, fold the wire down a little bit, and then go ahead and twist again, holding that space in between. It's a little tough to explain, but hopefully the visual is clear for you. Basically, you're going to keep folding the wire up past the bead you just twisted until you get through your full section that you want to use for the branch. As you get to the end of this section, you're going to want to twist the individual branches together. This time I waited till the end to twist them all together, but you can also do it as you're going along, and I'll show you a little later on in this video how to do that as well. With all this twisting we're doing, you're bound to get some kinks in your wire, so that's where the nylon jaw pliers come into play, because they'll gently straighten out your wire. All right, here's another extended branch piece. Watch closely. All right, y'all got it? If not, leave your questions in the comments below and I will answer them to the best of my ability. So I'm gonna go ahead and speed through the rest and then I will come back and show you how to finish off the ear cuff. Once you finish with your last branch, you're just going to wrap the wire until you get to the base coil, and then you'll trim off your wire, and you want to tuck it in as close to the base as you can. And you'll repeat the same on the other side. You remember we left that wire at the beginning, so go ahead and fully wrap that around as much as you can, or trim off the excess, whatever you want to do. And again, just make sure it's close to the base wire so it's not scratching anybody's skin when they're wearing it. Here I'm just adjusting the branches, straightening them out if I need to, or adjusting how they're sitting. And you can do this part to your liking. That is it. The ear cuff is finished. I hope you guys try this out. Thank you for tuning in and watching my tutorial. And like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.